Uh, my project is going to be centering on the presentation of turning one man's trash literally into another man's treasure. That's my working topic right now.
Good start.
I thought that was pretty good.
Pretty clever.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, we all like it.
Yeah, who wants to live in the dump, right? So I have a few pictures here I wanted to show first off.
Great, good idea.
So kind of emphasizing how the start to finish end looks on the title page that I have currently in the works. Similar to a math equation, you have a beach here which is full of plastic bottles, other types of plastic bags, things like that. There's even some metal as well, plus a room full of electronics, various devices, plus a whole big, huge pile of tires. Basically, the main composite, or the main ingredients for the composite that they're using is centered around plastics, electronics, and rubber. So you have plastics plus electronics plus rubber waste equals the finished product, which is this house. There's a few different models that they use, but in general, this is their base model. It's a modular home, 4 sections, which gives you 2 bedrooms, a living room, a bathroom, and a small kitchen. So,
sounds
compared
good
to someone who's living out on the street or somewhere else, that's not a bad place to be. Another picture I have here is of that modular floor plan I was able to obtain online. If you guys want to pass it around and have a look at it.
Thanks, sir.
It's pretty neat. So, outside of that, the intro that I have currently is since 2014, Conceptos Plasticos, it's a recycling company in Bogota, Colombia, has been building homes for the homeless out of recycled waste. Oscar Mendez, he's an architect and he's a co-founder of Conceptos Plasticos. He originally developed the idea to industrialize this glorified Lego construction, and it was containing plastic, electronics, rubber from various sources that his company actually collected from the nearby coast and recycled. So it was originally his idea that he pitched to his other co-founders, and they originally came into an agreement to industrialize this process, because I'm sure many of you have seen before times where people used waste to build houses where there was just plastic bottles or something.
Right.
As far as I know, this is the first time that's actually literally been industrialized into a process where the ingredients are literally melted down and formed into a mold, or a mold based out of the composite of the ingredients. And just like Lego blocks, it's put together onto a house, and the house is primarily composed of those 3 ingredients, outside of any kind of foundation or metal roof that they use. So the big key to the point of this presentation is that I believe this concept, well, it's been around for a while, the industrialization part, the application, and the effects that's currently being seen in Bogota, Colombia, I think is going to help to drive a new effort for waste management reform, and hopefully, combating, homeless, which is somewhat of a, I think, understated epidemic of the world.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that you tend to miss. You get lost in your daily life. There's all kinds of problems, like the environment, human waste, anything from the trash in the ground, and then trying to use these problems to solve other problems. So it gets into the tech, which I already partially described, where they collect the recycled material, which a lot of places currently do in various cities around the world, and then they melt it down to form their own composite, which then they mold into pieces to put their houses together. Right now they have a couple different designs. They have the 4-section modular home, and then they also have a longer kind of chain of homes that they've used to accommodate certain villages where people just didn't have a place to live, and they were, trying to find out wherever they could go. So getting into the cultural impact, I think this is important because it actually helps to refocus people's attention on efforts like this that kind of slip under the cracks and get lost in daily life, because everyone has their routine, you know, especially in politics and stuff nowadays. So it kind of helps to refocus on significant problems that may be forgotten about. It will help to encourage a cleaner environment, so it gets rid of waste, and it also helps to reduce the homeless population. I think it's a very innovative solution because it's not just finding a solution to solve a problem, but using an existing problem to solve another problem. So despite the actual literal benefits of this one instance, I think it can also help to encourage people to think outside the box and apply it to other situations where they can maybe find new ways to solve problems also from existing problems. So it's a very innovative solution. There's a few other things that I want to look into as well, because the profitability aspect of it, I think, is going to play a key in how well the rest of the world adopts this on a more organized global scale. As nice as it is to be compassionate and to do things for people who cannot provide for themselves, in order for it to take a more significant and more timely initiative, I think there has to be some sort of even minor version of profitability where major companies who are already well established, who can really throw a lot of weight into the solution, will actually be motivated to participate. So with a focus such as this, with the process, I have to try to find out how, production costs, if there is any profit. So I would at least have to assume that they're at least breaking even and making some measure of profit. But judging by the houses, which I think last time I said was around $7,000 for a house, to actually construct and everything, that's obviously much more affordable than a regular home. So depending on where you go, companies can make better or lesser use of it, cheaper or more expensive use of it. So
also, James, the scalability.
Yep. So the scalability, I'm focusing right now just because this is where I actually have the results on Bogota, Colombia. And towards the end of the presentation, I would also mention that they do have open contracts for other places around the world as they're starting to expand. People are seeing the progress and they're starting to embrace this new concept. They're starting to see that there's an actual pathway to lead from here to go into something that's going to be much bigger, which kind of ties into my thesis of it's supposed to help encourage a more globally organized solution, kind of reignite the fire for this issue. But as far as finding out information like the profitability, I face a hard challenge because this company, it's based out of Colombia, and the emails that I've sent have not gotten any replies. I can't exactly go knocking at the door. I'm not going to make that collect call. So for the most part, I have to try and find some open source information, try to continue to contact these people to see if I can get any more information. But at this point, email looks like it would be the best avenue for me. And then the last point, I had already stated the waste collection, it's already present in many cities, in a lot of places. So in order for companies that already control these processes to jump on this solution, they only need the process for the production because they're already collecting the waste. So they already almost have a leg in on the situation, so they just need to get the other leg in and they can actually jump on board as well. And then if there's a little bit of a profit to be made, they can make a little profit, they could eliminate some of the homeless issues, and then they could also make the environment a better place. And that's what I got for now.